So let's just settle. We're going to have to move probably straight into the practice. But just before we do, just kind of check your body, make sure you're nicely aligned, lengthen the spine. Take a nice deep breath. And just relax your body. And just very quickly check that the sounds in your environment, you're not kind of being distracted by them. Check that you're not being taken away by whatever's going on in your mind. So just allow those thoughts to arise without any kind of judgment. And then just notice your friends, your enemies, and your strangers, remembering how they can all change place. And then remembering they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering, and then having this extraordinary capacity for enlightenment. So remembering there is no negativity that can't be purified. And we're dealing with the mind, so we're dealing with psychology. We start with this power of regret, these 4 opponent powers. The first one is regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And we're regretting based on this logic of karma. And everything we do creates a karma. So we've planted many seeds. So logically, it makes sense that by doing this practice, we're pulling out some of those seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So then we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon this Buddha, Vajrasattva, who has these methods that we can use to purify. So we're not relying on Buddha as a kind of a god or a higher power who's going to fix everything for us. We're asking Vajrasattva for these methods that we can use to heal ourselves. So you imagine this beautiful, clear, radiant, light-bodied Buddha above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of this beautiful light, sitting cross-legged. He has this beautiful face, radiant, his very compassionate, kind eyes. He's peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And so now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we use light and mantra and visualization. So we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and into your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body, in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And the next is the purification of our speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambajasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dinapatita Tita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. And the next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a dark room, a pitch black room, and you flick on the switch, that light in the room instantly dispels the darkness. So you just imagine the moment the light hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, it's all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression and resentment and jealousy and bitterness. All of this is instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now we're purifying even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. But before we do that, just be delighted that all your delusions have been completely purified, and there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So all that stuff that we do that causes harm to others, that comes from our mind, all of it's gone. There's no kind of edginess or kind of weird stuff going on inside. So next is the imprints. So imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambajasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambajasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe ambajasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe ambajasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe ambajasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita Dida meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So now feel you are completely purified and there's not one atom of negativity in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So we have a couple of minutes, so let's just meditate for a moment on that. And you've purified the body, you've purified the speech, you've purified your mind, and you've done this kind of extra sweep. So you're all nice and squeaky clean before you go to bed. And now we come to the power of resolve, which is the fourth step in the purification process. This is a really crucial step, and it's the determination to not harm with our body, speech, and mind. And the very least, to think about refraining from harming. And without this, we're going to keep doing the same old bits and pieces over and over again. So when we make an aspiration or even just have this fleeting thought to wish to not harm, it starts to change things in the way we do things, the way we say things. We perhaps are a little bit more careful with the words that kind of come out of our mouth. Maybe it's a little bit easier to catch all that kind of negativity that arises in the mind at times. So we just have to decide, we just have to make a decision that this is what we want. So think about something you would like to work on between now and tomorrow. And it can be really simple. It can be just, you might want to think about working on it for 5 minutes during the day, or just say before you go to bed tonight, I'm not going to gossip about the neighbors to the other neighbors for 24 hours or for 8 hours while I'm sleeping. And this determination to try and refrain from harming, that is what gives us the strength to change. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my spiritual guide's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. In this way, we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created from doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all this virtuous karma that I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So for those of you who have His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, as one of your teachers, so make a strong wish for His Holiness to live long and to be healthy and to be able to continue to serve, and for all of his students to be able to serve him and to be able to continue to teach and give advice, and then request the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And then for any of you who have your own teachers here that you may see or talk to or listen to online, or someone who's touched your heart or piqued your interest in the Dharma, just make a strong request for them to live long. Okay. Lots of love, everybody.